All right, welcome everyone to our January 2017 Discover Arbonne with the Hake and Lumen region. What's that noise? I don't know. There we go. Okay, welcome everyone. So tonight we have the privilege of getting to hear from Executive Regional Vice President Shannon Lumen, and she is going to share a little bit about the business of Arbonne and a little bit about the background of the company, tell her story. And I just want to take a minute for those of you who don't know Shannon and just brag on her for a little bit. I am very lucky to have Shannon as my direct upline. And even though she's much younger than me, only in age, not in spirit, but, when she was looking at this business, she came to me and asked me for advice because I knew this industry. And after kind of encouraging her to just, take a leap of faith and go with it, and I knew that she would be great at it, I realized shortly after that, like, what am I doing? I'm telling her to go do it. I really need to look at this myself. But what I have watched Shannon do is become such an amazing leader and mentor and friend. Always someone I can go to. It doesn't matter if I'm feeling really up or down or, just need someone to vent to. She is always there for me. And she is like that for anyone, in her success line and people that are looking at the business. So she just has a wealth of knowledge. She's been in the business for 4.5 years or so, and she'll share her story. But it's just been remarkable to see her grow as a person, and I'm just excited to call her one of my very dear friends. And I know you're going to love hearing from her story and the information she's going to share. So, and at the very end, if depending on how much time we have, I think we could probably open it up to some questions, and then we'll close with a little teeny bit of recognition that's like 3 minutes worth. So as she's talking, if something pops into your head, please write it down, and then we can go through some questions at the end. All right, Shannon, you good?
Yes, thanks, Susanna. That was awesome. You guys, I have to apologize. I'm like in my unfinished basement. I swear, this is not normally where I do my calls, but my husband is upstairs wrestling right now with our 7- and 3-year-old, and the 6-month-old is sleeping where I usually do my call. Her sleep is more important than you guys seeing an unfinished basement. So I'm like shivering down here, but it's all good. And I almost showered you know what? This is me, and this is my life right now. So you get me with a hat on and no makeup. So I am just honored to be able to share with you and share my story tonight. I have been in Arbonne. It'll be 5 years in April. And I am first and foremost an independent consultant, but also have the privilege of the title of Executive Regional Vice President. And I'm just honored to be able to share with you tonight about Arbonne as a company and also just as the business opportunity as well. And I'm more excited because it is the new year. It's a fresh start. I love this time of year. I know some people get annoyed with New Year's resolutions and all that, but for me, I love this time of year because I do feel like it's a fresh start, a new go, new goals. And I hope that what I share with you tonight will be part of maybe some changes, whether they're small or big, that you want to make this year in your life. And then I just really just pray at the end of the night that you can see why I'm about this business opportunity and what it's really done for my family. And hopefully I can paint that vision for you as well. I do also want you to know that this isn't a fit for everyone, and we understand and respect that. So I'm not here to convince you tonight, but I just hope that if nothing else, you have an open heart and you can just listen to what I'm going to share and at least consider this business opportunity, because it is an amazing opportunity that really has been just a tremendous blessing for my family. And then one of my favorite things really about our business is that we do get to choose who we ask to learn and listen and invite. And so if you were invited on this call tonight by a consultant to listen, really give yourself a pat on the back, because they see something in you. They see greatness in you. They see something that they feel you could add value to Arbonne, or maybe, both ways Arbonne can add value for you. But we don't just hang out in the mall and pick up people and invite people. And like, I always joke, like, I don't sit on the side of the Beltline. The Beltline is the main highway that runs through Madison, and like flag down people for my business. Like, really, that's not what it's all about. We do hand select who we ask to learn more. And so I, just really know that the person who invited you tonight thinks very highly of you. And so just to give you a brief overview, I'm going to share a little bit about myself before I really the business part. Then I'm going to share just a little bit more about network marketing and why it's so brilliant. I'll touch briefly on our products and what makes them amazing. Just tell you how you can use these products to build a successful business and create really a life of design for you. And so when I was first introduced to Arbonne, it'll be 5 years in April, really that I sat down and listened, because my sponsor, ENVP Beth Malcook, had actually been asking me for about 9 months prior to come to a meeting, come to a party, try the products. And I was pretty polite. I politely declined a lot of her invites. She did gift me a lot of Arbonne as well. Her daughter, Maddie, was actually in my 3rd grade class at the time. I had been it was my 6th year of teaching at that time. I was teaching 3rd grade in Oregon, Wisconsin. And prior to that, I taught in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I also taught in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula, Michigan, where I did my student teaching, and taught 1st grade for a little bit as well. So fairly new to the Madison area. My husband and I had, at the time, we had a 2-year-old son. His name is Henry. He's now 7. And really, I really did love teaching, and I was really good at it. And I was very passionate about helping my students and helping the families of my students. And I poured my heart and soul into everything I did in the classroom. But I will tell you, when I had my own kids, I felt this extreme imbalance filter into when I was doing at home. If I really focused more on home, school seemed to suffer. If I really focused more on school, then home seemed to suffer. And I wasn't okay with that. I just really felt like my life was a bit of a rat race. It was like out the door to school, trying to get to school by 7, dropping my son off when it was still dark, and he'd cry at the door when I left him, teaching 23 to 26 kids every single day, and feeling distraught about some of their home lives and what they were going home to and what they were dealing with, and not ever being able to turn it off at home. Like, I remember one night my husband and I were sitting at dinner, and he was like, could we just please not talk about your classroom for one meal? Like, he was just so, like, I couldn't shut it down. I couldn't turn it off. But then I had my own son and my husband, and, it was just this like extreme imbalance I was feeling. And so when Beth, asked me to learn more about Arbonne, I really was just more interested in learning about our protein powder and some of our nutrition line, because I'd wanted to lose weight at that time. But never had I imagined she was going to sit me down and really like rock my world in such a way that she really spoke to my heart and asked me some really hard questions. And she was really bold with me, which looking back, I remember being kind of like, oh, some of the things she asked me. But now that I look back, I'm so glad she did, because I don't think if she would have been as bold with me, I would have probably not realized how serious this business was and the potential behind it. And so I'm going to ask you a few questions tonight, and I hope you don't get offended by them. I hope you really just listen to them and take them in and think about them, because these are the questions that she asked me that really got my wheels turning and really made me start thinking about even looking at this as a business opportunity. The first thing she said to me was, where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? And if you keep doing what you're doing, will you get there? In my heart, I knew I wanted to be home with my kids, and we had one, but I knew I wanted more. And I just couldn't wrap my head around though teaching full time and being a mom and being home with them, or giving up that and finding the financial resources to be able to stay home and not completely stressing my husband out if I just decided to leave teaching. And so when she asked that question, I had been in my 6th year in the district I was in and on a pay freeze for 6 years. So not a single raise in 6 years. I was on every committee you can think of. My principal asked me to do every little extra, and I always said yes. So I was just running crazy with my time for my school, and I was not getting compensated for really much of it at all. And I kept saying when she asked that question, I thought, nothing's going to change because this is going to continue on. Like, unless there's some major, huge shifts in public education, like nothing's going to change for me financially, or if I get a part-time job or whatever. And so I didn't want to do that. That'd just be more time away from my son. And then, that question really got me to start thinking about the business. But then she had asked me later, what is your plan B? Like, do you have a plan B? If Andy were to lose his job, or if something tragic were to happen, like what is your backup plan? And at that time, my husband and I and we had no money in savings. We lived with no family. So we had no plan. Like, we had no plan. I always joked, my parents live in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan on a 400-acre farm. And I always joke with my dad, like, we're going to build the treehouse out in the woods. Like, I always joke with them, if there was an emergency, that's what we would do. And I'm like, well, that was a great plan that I had. But we didn't have a plan. And so her saying that to me was another slap in the face. Like, you need to figure this out. You need to do something different. And then the other thing she just said too, she said, have you ever felt like there was something more for you? Have you ever felt like you were meant for a bigger purpose? And, her saying that to me really made me think about it. I felt like a sleeping giant inside of me. There was so much I wanted to do in my class, for my students, for my district. And every time I'd go ask, my principal or my superintendent or whoever it was, like, the answer was always no, because it wasn't in the budget. We don't have the money. We don't have the funding. Like, I'm discouraged by that, because I really do have a humongous passion for education, and specifically kids and schools that, are low income. And I really want to be able to help and give back more in those ways. But there's so many barriers with our system right now to financially help them. And so, she said to me, Arbonne can do all of that for you. I can help you get home with your son and any future kids you have. I can help you get out of this like crazy financial debt you and your husband have, are dealing with right now. And I can also help you do bigger things for community and beyond. And I remember being like, crazy. Like, she volunteers in my classroom all the time. And I thought like her husband had a really great job and she just got to stay home. And I was like, what do you do? I actually was like, does she like deal drugs? Like, I had this like, what does she do? She's and she's this crazy amount of money, and it just didn't seem real to me. So, if you're thinking, wow, this seems too good to be true, or anything I say tonight, I will tell you, I had all those same thoughts, but I really, really do, because you can do whatever it is you want with this business. And you really can create whatever it is that you want through this opportunity. And I am so thankful that I just had it in my heart. I trusted Beth, and I just wanted to go for it, because I will tell you, I had no business sense. I have felt like I have an entrepreneurial heart and spirit in me, and my parents have a business and they've had a business my whole life. Business, I always saw that, but their traditional business was not what I wanted. I wanted something that really gave me flexibility, time with my family, and just choice. And this is really what that did. And so what I'm going to do is really hop into what network marketing actually is and what it's all about, and talk why Arbonne. But when I started all this and really didn't do as much research as you're on this call tonight, you're doing more research than I did, because I dove all in and got going and never. But as I started learning more about, I just realized how smart it is. And so, our business model is network marketing. And like I said, you might have some preconceived notions. You might have heard, somebody might have told you it's a pyramid scheme. Like, there's all these crazy rumors and a lot of misconceptions out there. But just so you know that network marketing, it's just simply a distribution model. It means that Arbonne as a company chooses to cut out all the middlemen in traditional retail, where approximately 80% of consumers' money goes towards marketing, advertising, warehouse, front costs, your rent, employee salaries, insurance, electricity. My parents did. That was their business. Own their business. With network marketing, all of that money can be to improve product development and a generous plan for consultants. So basically through work to educate our customers about using high quality products and how they can shop our store at a discount. And then the products are delivered conveniently right to your doorstep. So we don't have to deliver a product to, stock the product. It's a win-win for everyone. That's it. That's network. Another thing that I talked to you about is why are, because I'm sure if you haven't been approached or heard about other companies, if you've heard about Arbonne for the first time, I'm almost from somebody, probably so many out there right now. And there are a lot of great companies that use network marketing as a business model. So why should you consider Arbonne over the others? I just want you to know that with any, first thing you really want to consider is sustainability. And just know this scary statistic. This still kind of gives me goosebumps when I think about it, because I just see so many people starting businesses. But 50% of new companies fail in the first, and then 96% fail in the first 10. As a company has been in business of educating and empowering people for almost 37 years, and we're growing stronger year by year. The second thing to look for in a company is a proven success plan. So consider for a second the brilliance of franchises. High rate of success. It's because when you start a franchise, they tell you exactly how much, they tell you what your storefront should look like, what your hours in operation will be, how many employees you'll need. And if you follow their plan, you will experience. Arbonne's plan is really so much more simple than that, because we don't have to worry about all of the extra things. It's effective, and there's proof all around us that it really does work. Honestly, like, I have met so many women who found great success who just like me, like just normal, average school teachers, nurses, stay-at-home moms, doctors, lawyers. I mean, you name it. We have all professional levels, but they all started off as an independent consultant, like everyone can, and really, really great success this business. We all have the same access to products that have been developed and you research and development. We all have the same 500 CEO and the support of an office team. We are told what level of activity we need to experience success, and then we are offered support and mentorship throughout. The only variable is the individual consultant. So if you can be coachable, hardworking, and determined to succeed, there's really no reason that you won't. But your success does depend on your work ethic. That was one thing I really loved about this too, is Beth shared with me when I started, the harder you work in this business, or the more effort you exert, your paycheck will reflect that. And I was like, thank you, finally, because, I was doing so much extra for my school, and that was definitely in my paycheck. So for me, it was a breath of fresh air to hear that, like, if I'm going to work hard, which I knew I could do, and I'm going to get paid for it, like, this is going to just benefit my family. The third thing you want to look for with a company is do they have a consumable product? This is really just good business sense, you guys. Don't get me wrong, I love bags, I love jewelry, but you only need so much of that kind of stuff. And once people get tired of buying it, they get tired of buying it. Arbonne has over 400 products and categories for everyone in your everyone showers, everyone bathes, hopefully they do, they wash their hair. Most women wear makeup. A lot of people use nutrition. You have grandmas. I mean, you name it, we have it. Like, we have a detox line, aromatherapy. We have everything. Health and wellness industry, it's a huge market, and it's really not going to. It's just going to get bigger and bigger. Everyone wants to look better and feel better, and I really don't ever see that. So you can really build your business. You just wanted to, like on our anti-aging skincare line, but we do have everything. So if somebody doesn't want anti-aging skincare, you can give them options. I was hooked in the beginning on our nutrition line, and had Beth approached me with anything, probably wouldn't have even met with her, but she figured out that I was wanting to feel healthier and I was feeling run down. Offered me our protein powder and our fizz sticks, which are amazing. If you haven't tried them, I cannot survive without them. Energy improved. I lost some weight. I felt good. My husband, we're both. That's the one thing. Like, I don't product. We don't have to carry enough with this business, but you will find protein and fizz sticks and digestion. And always, because that is the one thing I can't go without, because I do love it so much. And I have customers that feel the same way. So they go online, they reorder, and business, because it's a consumable product that people want. Plus they get to get it. So that's really, from like, when you look at it from business. We're currently open in 7 markets in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Australia, Poland, New Zealand, and Taiwan. And the best thing about that is we're just starting. Our CEO is so focused on global expansion, and I know we'll be moving into many more markets soon. So it's really exciting to know that right now we're only in 7 countries, and the global expansion that we have left and that's slated. Just how many people don't know about Arbonne. So, and the thing is, right now, we only have 1% to 2% brand awareness in the world. So people really don't know. They don't know about Arbonne. I actually just did a party on Sunday, and like I said, this will be my 5th year in April that I've been doing this. And there were 7 people in the room, and 3 people had never heard of Arbonne. And I still have, every time I go to a party and I talk with people, like, there is always somebody who's like, I've never heard of this. How do I not know about it? I've never tried these products. So a little bit about not having to stock products. That's a great bonus that you're going to find. The other thing is, with our business plan, is it's job. And Suzanne and I always say this, like, if we had to do Arbonne for 40 hours a week, like, I don't know what I would possibly do, because there's not enough to do 40 hours a week, unless you just like keep wanting to reorganize your office or something. I don't know, like, there's not enough to do that much time. And when I started my business, that was one of my big fears, because I kept saying, I don't have a lot of time. I'm teaching full time. Like, how in the world can I build a business while I'm still teaching? But Beth just said, if you can build it into the nooks and crannies of your day, you'll eventually get to a point where you're going to have a choice to leave your job, which I was able to do after a year. I ended up going part-time then. And then I chose to go part-time because my district really created a position for me that I couldn't turn down. And after that 2nd year, then I just decided I wanted to just solely focus on Arbonne and my kids and my husband. And it gave me that choice. And it was a breath of fresh air to have choice in your life versus having to stay and do something that you didn't enjoy or you felt you had to do because your family depended on it. But the thing that was great about it is, no matter what level I was at, whether it was district manager, area manager, regional vice president, I was still doing the same amount of time. I was working about 20 hours a week. It was like a part-time job, and that hasn't changed. So, and I'm going to talk about the levels of management here in a second, but I think sometimes people think like, well, the higher up you get, or you, the more, the larger you build an organization, the more hours you have to work. And that's so Arbonne, because we teach you how to leverage your time and build a network and to duplicate what you're doing in your business. So you mentor, teach, and train your team to do what you're doing, but you don't have to do every single thing with them. We really build people up and create leaders. And that is part of this business now. It's so fun to see people really grow into the person that God made them to be. And I just love helping others really, just figure out what it is they want to do, what passion they have for life, what they want to give back, and having time to reflect and think, really alongside grow your family or whatever it is that you want to pursue. So it's such an amazing of that. And when I started, I really wanted to be home with my kids. And so I had to really grow my vision bigger and beyond. I do want to be able to give back and have some type of nonprofit for public education and inner city schools. I want to be able to volunteer in classrooms. I want to fund every Donors Choose page or every teacher that I see, because it drives me crazy when I see teachers asking for area rugs and chairs. And, I want to be able to just be like, here you go. Here's the money. Go get yourself 3 if you want, because that is really what I am passionate about. So when I hit my goals in this business, it's not like I stopped. It's never going to stop it. But I can keep going and doing things for my family, for my team, for my community. And it's so rewarding. And I don't know any other business model that creates or allows that. That's for me what I think every day still really blows me away with this business. And so the other thing that I really want to focus on and talk about is just, how you get compensated for your efforts. When you think about your jobs that you currently are, for me with teaching, it was like I would put in so many hours in my classroom. Plus I was on the technology committee, and I was on, the party did all like the party events for my school, like to keep camaraderie going. And I helped I tutored one student after school for, pro bono, and I did reading clubs with my kids. Like I did all these extra things. I didn't get compensated for all that. But when you think about Arbonne, like doing all those extra things you might do in your current job, that's really how you build your network in this business. So you might, Susanna joined me and I helped, and I didn't, honestly, like Susanna and I joined, I was like ignorance on fire. Like she knew more than I did. I always say like God gave me Susanna so I would never quit this business because she's been on my tail since day one. But, you teach and train somebody like Susanna to do what you're doing, and they do that with their team too. And then maybe you meet somebody else and you teach and train them to do the same thing. And then you meet a third person, or, you have somebody come into your business and you teach and train them to do the same thing. You leverage your time. So it's like almost like cloning yourself, which we all wish. I mean, I wish I had 5 of myself right now. So I could one Shannon could go work out, one Shannon could like clean the house, one could play with my kids, one could take a nap. Like that would be awesome, but that's really what Arbonne is you're cloning yourself in a sense in different networks, and you get paid on that. You get paid a percentage, but it is also a fair pay. You can't just sit back and not work. Like you can't, build a team and then decide to do nothing, because your team can pass you. Your team can grow a bigger business than you. And that's what makes it fair. And that's what I do love about it, because I do remember my first conversation with my husband when I texted him. Now don't do this. I texted him that I was starting a business. And then I just said, oh, okay, we'll talk. I'll beg for forgiveness later. That's really what I did. And when I got home, he was like, of course she wants you to sign up. Like she's going to make all this money off of you. Like he did not understand how the pay plan worked, and he did not understand even network marketing, period. So he thought for sure, like I got steamed into something. It was this, we were going to lose all our money. And really that's so far from the truth of what it's like as far as your energy and your time. But I will tell you, you do have to work hard. This isn't a get rich quick scheme. You're not going to come in here and make millions overnight. You do have to build your business and your network, and it does take time. Now, some people come in and like go crazy and promote really fast, and some people it takes a little bit longer. But either way, anyone that's at the top of this company, you can ask them whether it took them 1 year or whether it took them 5 years to get to the top. It doesn't matter, because all the personal growth they experience along the way and all the positive in their life they experience are really what make the biggest. And so I'm going to wrap up with 2 things. I'm going to share about our pay plan and our levels. At this level, the average monthly income is anywhere from $250 to $1,000. And we teach and train people to get there in about 1 to 2 months. Really for my family, this represented just some extra spending money. But it also, for me, showed me that this worked, because I promoted in my first month. I got a pay raise in my first month. And that hadn't happened in 6 years of teaching. So it was like this little glimmer of hope, like this really does work. I just got a paycheck and I already got a promotion, like month 1 of doing this business. The second level is area manager. At this level, the average monthly compensation is anywhere from $1,000 to $4,000. And the average time to get there is anywhere from 5 to 11 months. Now, some people do it faster, some people do it slower. That doesn't mean, it's what you want to make of it. And some people quit before they get there. I'll be honest with you. Some people do this for days, like, oh my gosh, this is hard, I'm done. And I don't think that's fair at all to our business model, the industry, or Arbonne to say it does or doesn't work, because any sustainable business, it's just like 5 and 10 year mark. Whereas with Arbonne, I always say people overestimate what they can do in 1 year, but they underestimate what they can do in 3 to 5 years in this business. And it's crazy. I beg you, if you decide, if you're on this as a guest tonight and you start, give it at the minimum 36 months and don't quit. Give it that amount of time, work the system, be coachable, and you will be amazed at what can happen. But if you do it for a month, 30 days, you get frustrated, you get a couple of people tell you no, and you decide to quit, like you never really started. You really didn't. And so to say it doesn't work isn't fair. The third level of management is the regional vice president level. This is the level you get a free white Mercedes. The compensation is anywhere from $4,000 to $14,000 a month, and it's average about 1 to 3 years. This level, I will say, is super humbling. Driving that car is awesome. And at first, my husband was like, "We're not driving that. We're GM Ford people. We're not getting a Mercedes." And then we got the Mercedes, and he was like, oh, okay, this is awesome. We can drive it. And so he gets to drive it a little bit more now because we just had our third baby in June, and we have an SUV, and we kept my C-Class car, so all 3 kids cannot fit in the car. So he gets to drive it to work some days, and then we switch it when I need it for my business. And so I think he's liking the Mercedes now that he gets to drive it to work a lot. So, but it's been awesome to have that car, but it is a gentle and daily to me that I have so many on my team that want that car as well, and that it just drives me to keep growing and helping them, because I know we're going to have fleets of white Mercedes in all areas where our teams are. I have envisioned that since the day I started, and I know it's going to happen, and there's so many on track this year to do that. Our National Vice President, Beth Malcook, right now in her success line has 15 Mercedes drivers, and what Susanna, when we started, it was like there were 6 people, right? 6 or 7, I think, total. And so just in 4 years, there's been that many car promotions. It's awesome to be and see the momentum that's happened. And then the 4th level of management is the National Vice President level. Average monthly salary, I'm saying here, is $22,000 a month. That's like gangster money, you guys. I remember, like, I didn't believe her. I was like, let me see a pay stub. Like, I did not believe you make that much money, because I couldn't fathom it because as a teacher, like that was like a little bit under what I made in a year, So, I mean, it really wasn't that far off. So to be able to make that amount of money is life-changing, what that could do, what that could bring your family, what it can bring so many others outside of your family and beyond. Average to become a national vice president is anywhere from 3 to 5 years. And like I said, some people do it faster, some do it slower. And it really, it just blows my mind to think about what that can do for so many others, that amount of money. And so I want to leave you with, those questions I ask you, that where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years? And if you keep doing what you're doing when you get there, think about that, because that really it was like Beth took a little knife and twisted it in my tummy. It really made me think about what I needed to do and change in my life. If you don't make a change, I want you to know nothing in your life is going to change. If you want something different for yourself, you have to make a change. It's not just going to happen if you're doing the same thing over and over. Like what the definition of insanity is, doing the same thing over and over and over and not seeing results. That was me before I met Beth and before I started my Arbonne journey. And I really want you to think about, I'm going to ask you to visualize. If you need to close your eyes, please do so. But just visualize a time in your life, and I'm going to use the example of like high school graduation or maybe college graduation, but when you were really excited about something. So if it was your high school graduation, think about how that felt when you threw your cap into the air and you knew that there was so much happening. It was just a symbolic moment, and you knew that it was a chapter of your life ending and something new beginning. That new chapter could have been, aspirations, your dreams. You're going to change the world. You're going to leave your mark. You're going to own your own lives. But onto the reality in your early 20s, it's, you finish school, you get a job, you get married, you buy a house, you have children, you get a dog, and you get debt. And really, that was me. That scenario was me and my husband. And then you put your dreams aside because you're waking up to an alarm clock. You're dropping kids off at school. You go to the office. You work all day. You come home. You cook dinner. You give the kids a bath. You go to bed. You get up. You do it all over again the next day. This is something we've grown to accept. That's my new quote. It's the card you've been dealt. It's what you have to deal with. It's what you have to do. And that's just the way it's going to be. So we no longer dream. We daydream about someday, but the someday never happens. So your hope dies, our dreams die, our aspirations die. And really, you get caught in that status quo type of living. But I want you to think about, what if it's never too late? What if you're not too old? What if the people in your life need you to step up and make a change? Arbonne can be your vehicle. And it can be your vehicle to give you time, financial freedom, the option to give back, reignite your hope, be around positive people that grow you and cheer you on and believe in you. But you have to make a decision, and you have to decide. You might be thinking, I don't have the energy. I don't want to change. I don't see it for myself. I'm not that kind of person. I wouldn't do those things. So you have to make the decision. If you are, tired of the rat race, tired of not having a voice, thinking you're created for more, but it's got to be up to you, and you have to go for it. And I just want you to know that Arbonne can and has been for so many that vehicle to attain those dreams and chase those dreams again. And so the last thing I'm going to wrap up, if you are a guest on the call tonight, if you would do me a favor and before, I hope you don't sleep tonight. I hope I've left something in your heart, in your head, stirring so you think more about it. But if you could do me a favor and tell the consultant that invited you, if you could just give them a number where you're at, whether it's a 1, 2, or a 3, just so there's not like that awkward, hey, where are you at? What are you thinking vibe? We really want to serve you, but we don't want to bug you. Like that is not what we're about. We don't want to be those like pesky in your face, bugging you all the time, but we do want to know where you're at. So if you're a 1, you're like, you know what, this sounds great. Good for you. This is awesome. Maybe you'll host a party, but the business isn't for you. A 2 is, I'm intrigued. I have questions though. So could we sit down, schedule a time to meet, and I have a list of questions I want to ask you? Or are you a 3? I want to get started. I want to get rolling. What are my next steps? That will just help help us best serve you, and really just help you get your best start if you are a 3 and want to get going. So I hope that you heard something tonight that leaves you intrigued or leaves you feeling inspired and hopeful. And just thank you for the opportunity tonight to share with Arbonne. And we can open it up for questions at this point if anyone has any. Otherwise, I know we have a little bit of recognition we're going to close up with tonight.
Okay, I have to laugh. Maddie's going to kill me. Maddie's already a consultant. She just texted me, I'm a 3.
Aw, awesome. Welcome, Maddie. Yay, where's Maddie live?
She's a sophomore at Ohio State. She's going to Vegas though, so
awesome.
Yeah. So you guys, anyone have any questions or comments? And then if not, I'll go into recognition. I'm going to go to gallery view here so I can see everybody.
Daughter that's at that 2028. Susanna, can you just talk maybe just a couple minutes or whatever, just about kind of where you think, how does this work when, you have a student in college? Maybe they want to kind of have a little more flexibility. Can you just kind of speak on that just for a minute or so?
And you're talking about the college student.
Yeah, how that could fit into a college student's life.
Yeah. Well, I won't lie. I don't think it's necessarily a super easy thing to do. I do think it's possible, though. And I think it just depends on the drive and the, mentoring potentially of that. They're young, but there's some really smart 18, 19, 20-year-olds for sure. And I think, one of the biggest challenges is probably financial, as far as the first people that they're going to go to are, poor college students. But I think there's a lot of opportunity in sharing the business side of things and branching out into their families. Because even if you're 19, you have sisters and moms and aunts and your mom's friends. And so I really think it shouldn't matter. It can. I think you get in your own head about it. But when Tyler started, I just did everything with him because I had a more vested interest in him getting off to a great start. He's not actively doing presentations right now, but he has a great list of clients. So he has, people that still shop with him monthly. And, that was work we did back in, May, June, July. So I don't know if that really answered the question. I think a lot of it too is, are they of an entrepreneurial kind of mindset? I think they kind of need that a little bit, because you got to get out, you got to be, when you're 18 or 19 and you're going to talk to women or men that are 35, 40, maybe 50, you need to have a little bit of confidence behind you to know that it doesn't matter that you're 20 years younger than them. You have information that you know is worthy of sharing. And if they say no, then they can say no to me. So kind of got to get out of your own head about that. But we would love to have young, sassy 19, 20-year-olds get started in this and prove that it can be done.
Well, and I think too, this business does take grit no matter what age you're at, whether you're 18 or 60. Like, this business takes grit, and it is hard work. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you're willing, like I said, to give it time. There's a woman named Nikki Smith started her business when she was 19 and didn't take it real serious, kind of was casual about it, kept going. And then all of a sudden her sister Danielle promoted to national vice president. It took Nikki about 10 years to get it. But after 10 years, she did, and she's national vice president now and has a killer business. But, you know, I think just, you know, whether they start off on fire or they start and just, like, watch, like, you can jump into this business whenever you're ready. That's what I love about it. Like, what I just said to somebody the other day, what other job could you be like, okay, I'm going to start, but, like, 4 years from now, I'm going to really start, and then I'm going to be at the top of the company. Like, you would have gotten fired a long time ago. Like, you can't just go back to your job and do that. Whereas with Arbonne, when you're ready to go, you can just go. Like, you can, you know, use the products and refer people. And, you know, if you're casual about it, you're casual. But if you want to go out right away, go for it. You know, so I think it's just such a great opportunity for anyone. And I agree with Susanna. There aren't enough young people, so it's a huge market for somebody to take hold of.
Absolutely. Great question, Michelle. Anyone else? Don't be shy. All right, well, how about this? I'll do a run through our recognition really quick, and then you guys can, you know, wave me down before we hang up if you guys, something pops into your head. So, well, first of all, Shannon did an awesome job. So we've been doing these, what now? Is this our sixth one? Fifth, sixth?
I think.
Okay. So, you know, we've been doing them monthly, and I really enjoy them, and I love having the two of us kind of bounce ideas off each other. And I think, you know, you always take something different away from it. I've heard Shannon's story 50, 75 times, I don't know, and I always love listening to it, and I always take away something new. So that was awesome. Thanks, Shannon. All right, so how we're going to do this is there's just a couple categories that we like to recognize from, and this is from December. And so then obviously our next call that we'll do, we'll recognize achievements that happened in January. So from December, we had 4 people that were in qualification for district. We had Danielle Daichi, did I say that right? Daichi, Gina Frederick, Ashley Hinsey, and Gina Kaplan. And I don't know where the rest of them live. Gina's in Cincinnati. Okay, congratulations to you guys. And then we had a brand new area manager promotion. That was Michelle Uniskevich, which is a big deal. She announced that she is leaving her full-time teaching job, so super excited about that. Sad for the kids, but happy for your kids.
Thank you.
And then, Michelle, if those of you who are guests were not on this, but we had a little quick training before for consultants, and Michelle was talking about this 2,500 building block, and we really like to recognize people that are just consistently doing 2,500 QV, which is basically stands for dollars, but in products sold and purchases made, and it's really not that big of a number, but it just shows consistent effort. And so we have a few people that did their 2,500 building blocks: Michelle Uniskevich, Angie Sanderfoot, Rachel Zingler, Shannon Lumen, Jenny Whitens, Nikki Trich, Beth Rudy, and Susanna Hake. And that's just kind of that's a no-brainer. We just do that because we know it's smart with our business, and we want people to duplicate that. So you have to do what you want duplicated. And then we had 3 people hit their area volume, that 10,000 area volume: Shannon Lumen, Jenny Whitens, and Susanna Hake. And Michelle will be up there next month, I'm certain of it. And then 3 people had their DM bonuses. District manager bonuses puts an extra $200 in your paycheck. And to most of us that have been around a little bit, or our district managers, this is non-negotiable. We want that $200, which equals a lot of money at the end of the year. So this was Beth Rudy, Susanna Hake, and Jenny Whitens. And Jenny has already bonused her district for January, a little show off. Awesome. And then we had 2 area bonusers. That is an extra $400 in your paycheck. And that was Shannon Lumen and Susanna Hake. And then some personal sponsoring. Jenny Whitens had top personal sponsoring last month with 5, and Susanna Hake had 5.
Beth Rudy had 6.
Beth Rudy had 6. That's right. Beth Rudy had 6. And then district sponsoring, Nikki Trich had 6. Jenny Whitens had 7.
Beth Rudy had 7.
Beth Rudy had 7. You're not on here, Beth. Sorry about that. And then the only thing we have 2 new consultants that we want to welcome: Lauren Woods from Virginia and Amanda Rausch, I think is how you say her name. I think she's on right now, maybe not. And she's in Princeton, Wisconsin. So welcome them, and we plan to have several more people to add to that list for next month. And then the only other thing that we're announcing is there's a challenge right now this month for a really cool Bluetooth speaker, free Bluetooth speaker. There's several of us that are super close, but Shannon has already earned hers, so way to go. I'm sure when I get mine, it won't even be mine. One of my boys will confiscate it.
I'm sure Henry's going to steal it.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah, all my good stuff gets taken by my children. Shannon, is there anything else you could think of that we wanted to mention?
GTC registration. I think if you're not registered, you guys, there is still room, and it is a great, worthwhile convention to be at for your business. So,
and if you're a consultant watching right now and you're thinking you're a 3, even if you're a 2.5,
yeah,
Vegas, and I guarantee you'll be a 3. But it is a blast. We have so much fun. It's just, I don't even know how you put it into words, but anybody can sign up still. It will fill up eventually here. I encourage everybody to come if you're not signed up yet.
Yeah, and then I'll just keep saying August 12th, that weekend, is our Malcook Nation retreat as well. Like, you want to be at that too. So get it in your calendar. Tell your family right now. Like, try to plan events around it if you can, because it is something you want to be at for sure as well. So.
Absolutely. All right, last chance for questions. Anybody come up with anything?
Andrew says, yay. Oh, I didn't realize you can chat on this.
Yes, you can. I know. Pretty cool. All right, well, then I think we'll go ahead and end it, you guys. 50 minutes. That's not bad. 48 minutes, actually. So thanks for joining us. And then if you are a guest, just send a message or, get in touch with the person who invited you and just let them know what you're thinking. If you still have a lot of questions, that's normal. This isn't something that you have to make a decision today. Man, I'm either in or I'm out. No. But get your questions answered. You owe it to yourself to learn as much as you need to learn to make an educated decision. So we'd love to have you join us.
Yes, we would.
All right, guys.